There is a silent journey within every man, a path that winds through the shadows and light of his own soul. To walk this path with courage and authenticity, a man needs not the fleeting applause of the world, but certain timeless essentials that nourish his inner being and help him become whole. Let us explore 5 vital things every man truly needs. Within every man lies a hidden realm, a territory often avoided yet essential to explore. This realm is the shadow, the collection of fears, doubts, impulses, and parts of himself he has rejected or denied. It is the place where his imperfections, weaknesses, and buried desires reside. To ignore or suppress the shadow is to live a fragmented life, constantly running from parts of oneself that long for recognition and integration. True courage does not mean the absence of fear. Rather, it is the willingness to confront these darker, unfamiliar parts with honesty and openness. It requires a man to step beyond the comfort of his conscious identity, to journey into the depths of his psyche where uncertainty and discomfort dwell. This journey is difficult because it challenges the narratives he has built about who he is, stories that often protect his ego but limit his growth. When a man dares to face his shadow, he uncovers hidden strengths and truths. He begins to see how the qualities he once feared or despised can be transformed into sources of power, creativity, and wisdom. The shadow, once a source of inner conflict, becomes a teacher guiding him towards self-awareness and wholeness. This process demands humility, patience, and compassion toward oneself, for it is through acceptance, not rejection, that healing occurs. Without this confrontation, a man risks projecting his shadow onto others, blaming, judging, or resenting qualities he refuses to see within himself. This externalization fractures his relationships and clouds his perception of the world. Embracing the shadow, therefore, is not only a personal act of bravery, but also a step toward deeper connection and harmony with others. In the end, the courage to face the shadow is the foundation of true maturity. It is the gateway to authenticity and freedom, allowing a man to live fully and without the burden of hidden fears. It is the recognition that within darkness lies the seed of light, and only by embracing both can a man become whole. Every man needs a place apart from the chaos of the external world, a quiet refuge where the noise of daily life softens and the clamor of expectations fades into stillness. This sacred space of solitude is not simply physical, a room or a retreat, but a state of being, a moment where the soul can withdraw from distraction and find its own voice. In solitude, the man is free from the masks he wears for others, the roles he performs, and the demands imposed by society. It is here, in this silent sanctuary, that he can encounter himself fully and honestly. Solitude allows a man to descend into the depths of his own mind and spirit, where the truth of who he is lies waiting. Without the constant chatter of external stimuli, he begins to hear the whisper of his own inner wisdom, the subtle guidance of intuition, and the gentle stirring of his deepest desires. This connection with the self is vital, for it nourishes the roots of identity that sustain him in moments of challenge and confusion. Within this quietness, time seems to slow, allowing reflection to unfold naturally. A man can explore the landscape of his emotions, memories, and dreams without fear or judgment. The distractions of the outside world, opinions, comparisons, fears of inadequacy, lose their power. Instead, a sense of calm clarity emerges, bringing perspective and insight. Solitude is not loneliness, but a rich and fertile ground where the soul's seeds can take root and grow. Moreover, this sacred space offers an opportunity for renewal. Just as the earth needs night to regenerate its life force, the human spirit requires moments of stillness to recharge and heal. In the embrace of solitude, a man reconnects with the source of his vitality and creativity, rediscovering his inner fire. It is often in these quiet moments that inspiration arises, solutions to problems become clear, and a renewed sense of purpose ignites. Without this refuge, a man risks losing touch with his own center, becoming swept away by the relentless currents of external pressures and distractions. He may find himself reacting impulsively, chasing superficial goals, or losing sight of what truly matters. But with the regular practice of withdrawing into solitude, he cultivates resilience, balance, and a deep well of inner peace. Ultimately, this sacred space of solitude is a gift a man gives to himself, a place where he can listen deeply, rest profoundly, and awaken more fully to the mystery of his own being. Though every man carries within himself a rich inner world, he is never truly complete in isolation. Human life is woven from threads of connection, invisible yet powerful ties that bind one soul to another. Meaningful connection is not a mere convenience or passing companionship. It is a profound meeting of hearts and minds, a space where authenticity is welcomed and vulnerability is met with understanding. To connect deeply with others, a man must first be willing to lower his defenses, to step beyond the surface of polite conversation and societal roles. This is a difficult act of trust, for it requires revealing the parts of himself that are tender, uncertain, or flawed. It is through this act of opening that real relationships are born, relationships that reflect the fullness of who he is, rather than a curated image. In these genuine encounters, a man sees himself mirrored in the eyes of another, and this reflection offers insight into his own nature. The presence of another who listens without judgment becomes a mirror and a guide, helping him recognize both his light and shadow. It is in this space of shared humanity that he finds not only companionship, but the courage to continue his inner journey. Meaningful connection also teaches empathy. When a man listens deeply and truly seeks to understand the other's experience, he expands his own capacity for compassion. He learns that beneath the differences of culture, background, or opinion, there is a common human longing for acceptance, love, and belonging. This awareness softens rigid boundaries and nurtures harmony within the self and with others. Isolation, even in a crowd, can breed loneliness and despair. Without these connections, a man risks becoming trapped within his own thoughts, imprisoned by the echo chamber of self. The shared joys and sorrows of friendship and love remind him that he is part of something larger, a community, a collective spirit, and this knowledge sustains him through life's trials. Yet, meaningful connection is not about losing oneself in others. Rather, it is a dance between independence and intimacy. Each man must maintain his own center while reaching out to others with an open heart. In this balance lies growth, the unfolding of a mature self that is both strong and tender, autonomous and interdependent. Ultimately, meaningful connection nourishes the soul, weaving a fabric of belonging and purpose that supports a man's journey toward wholeness. It is through these relationships that he learns the profound truth. To be truly known and to know another is to touch the sacred essence of life itself. A man's life gains depth and meaning when he reaches beyond the confines of his own desires and ambitions to embrace a purpose greater than himself. This sense of purpose acts as a guiding star, a beacon that draws him forward even through moments of uncertainty, hardship, and doubt. It is not simply a goal or achievement, but a calling and inner summons that connects him to something vast, mysterious, and enduring. To live with such a purpose requires a man to look beyond immediate gratification and personal gain, to consider the legacy he wishes to leave and the impact he wants to make in the world. This transcendent purpose often emerges from a deep encounter with the inner self, where he perceives his unique gifts and how they might serve others. It is here that passion and responsibility intertwine, transforming ambition into service. When a man aligns his actions with this higher calling, his efforts take on a sacred dimension. Every challenge becomes an opportunity for growth, every setback a lesson in resilience. The mundane tasks of daily life acquire new significance, for they are woven into the fabric of a larger mission. This awareness fuels perseverance and instills a sense of fulfillment that no external reward can replace. Moreover, having a purpose beyond himself grounds a man in times of chaos and confusion. Life inevitably brings storms, losses, failures, moments when the path forward is obscured. But when anchored by a deeper vision, he is less likely to be swayed by fleeting doubts or distractions. The purpose acts as a compass, maintaining his direction and integrity amid shifting circumstances. This pursuit also invites humility, for it recognizes that no man exists in isolation or by his own power alone. The purpose connects him to a greater whole, a community, a cause, a vision that transcends individuality. In this connection, he finds meaning not only in his successes, but in his willingness to contribute to something that outlasts him. A sense of purpose beyond oneself is the wellspring of creativity, courage, and sacrifice. It calls a man to rise above self-centeredness and complacency, to embody his highest potential. In answering this call, he participates in the ongoing creation of life's meaning, shaping not only his destiny, but also the destiny of those who follow. Ultimately, to live with purpose is to live awake, fully present, fully engaged, and fully committed to the unfolding mystery of existence. It is the thread that weaves together the fragments of experience into a coherent and vibrant tapestry, a testament to the man who chooses to stand for something greater than himself. Life is a river in constant motion, and a man who wishes to live fully must flow with its currents rather than resist them. The willingness to evolve is the readiness to embrace change, to surrender old patterns and beliefs that no longer serve, and to open oneself to transformation. It is not an easy path, for it requires courage to face the unknown, humility to admit imperfection, and patience to endure the often slow process of growth. Every stage of life brings new challenges that call for adaptation. What once defined a man's identity may become a cage if he clings to it too tightly. The stories he has told himself about who he is, what he desires, and what he can achieve must sometimes be rewritten. This rewriting is a kind of death and rebirth, a shedding of worn skins to allow new life to emerge. It is through this cycle of letting go and becoming that a man discovers the richness of his own depths. To evolve is to enter into a dialogue with oneself, listening deeply to the inner stirrings that signal a need for change. It means questioning long-held assumptions and being willing to step beyond comfort zones. This process can provoke fear and resistance, for growth often involves uncertainty and the breaking down of familiar structures. Yet, it is precisely through this discomfort that transformation occurs. The willingness to evolve also means embracing paradox, holding opposing truths within oneself without losing balance. Strength and vulnerability, certainty and doubt, order and chaos all coexist in the human experience. To evolve is to learn how to navigate these tensions gracefully, finding wholeness not in perfection but in the harmonious integration of opposites. Moreover, evolution is not a solitary endeavor. It unfolds in relationship with life's circumstances, other people, and the greater forces beyond human control. A man who is open to change recognizes that he is part of a larger dance, where surrender is as vital as will, and receptivity as important as action. This openness brings freedom, for it loosens the grip of egoic rigidity and invites new possibilities. In embracing evolution, a man becomes an artist of his own soul, continuously shaping and reshaping his identity in response to the evolving mystery of life. He learns that growth is not a destination but an ongoing journey, one that calls for resilience, creativity, and faith. This journey moves him closer to the realization of his fullest potential, allowing him to live with authenticity and depth. Ultimately, the willingness to evolve is the heartbeat of transformation. It is the embrace of life's impermanence and the courage to continually become to be reborn anew in each moment, ever unfolding toward the horizon of greater understanding and being.